Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun.
Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun.
La a'budu ma ta'budun. In this verse is the ain there with the sukun. A'budu and then ta'budun. You see? And then ta'. So let the ain roll. Let it ride on the wave. Okay? So it's not a'budu ta'budu, no. A'budu ma ta'budun. Okay? Again. La a'budu ma ta'budun. ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد أعبد It's a dal. Qala it's not أعبد, not bud. أعبد de. Okay. ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد If you take a look at the word antum, the noon doesn't have a sign, right? So again, a noon doesn't have a sign. What happens? Just tell yourself, a noon that has not any sign will not be pronounced full, will not be pronounced complete. So it will be subject to adjustment depending on which letter comes after. So over here is a ta, so it causes the noon to be half pronounced. So you're letting that flow there in order that the ta can transit out. So antum, like that. So that's why you have a gunna of two counts like that. Okay? If the noon has got a sukun, then you pronounce as an, for example, right? Then like that you won't have a gunna of two counts. But like this kind of situation, yes, there will be. So again, wala antum aabiduna ma a'bud. ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم
ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم.
So here the dal doesn't have a sukun. It's actually a dal with sukun, but over here it does not have a sign also, so it becomes a silent letter in favor of the ta. You see the ta there has got a shadda. So the ta with the shadda does not mean that that particular ta was actually double. So the shadda over there is to indicate, to ignore the dal in favor of the ta. Get this? Last time you learned shadda is because it's doubling, isn't it? Because the letter was originally double. Here the shadda on the ta is not because originally it was a doubling, but here is to indicate, to leave the stress on the ta instead of the dal, because otherwise it would have been abadatum with the qalqala. Over here you do not need to read the dal with the qalqala, and the simple reason, because you do not see any sukun over there. So any letter that you don't see with a sukun, you would pronounce it, well, you're not even going to pronounce it at all, it will be silent. So you're going to pronounce the next letter, in this case the ta with the sukun. So it's not because, again, it's not because it's got originally a doubling, but it's an indicator to tell you ignore the dal, go straight into the ta from the ba. Abadtum, you see, abadtum. You do not need to make abadatum. Wala ana abidum ma abadtum. ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد
لكم دينكم ولي دين.
ولكم دينكم ولي دين.
What's a technique to, let's say you want to memorize this surah? Easy. Most people, even if they may not have memorized this surah or not memorized in full, most people, they would know the first and the last. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. And then somehow they know the last part, lakum dinukum waliyadin. Somehow or other, majority of people, even though they may not have properly or 100%ly memorized this, the first and the last they usually know best. So use that to your, take that to your advantage. Okay. Once you have that, you have 4 verses in between, of which 2 are actually the same verse. Number 3 and number 5. وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ. This will be repeated in verse number 5. So you actually have لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ, and then وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ. You see? Then after that you repeat again verse number 3, وَلَا أَنْتُمْ, and then you read lakum dinukum waliyadin. Now how to avoid the going about in circles? Just tell yourself, when you read wala for the 3rd time, when you read wala for the 3rd time, because the first verse that's got the la is the second verse, la a'budu ma ta'budun. That's the first statement, the negation statement, the la, that means no. After that, verse number 3 is wala antum abiduna ma a'bud, and you know that you're going to repeat this on the 5th verse. The next one also has got a wala, verse number 4, wala ana abidum ma abadtum, and then you repeat back verse number 3 into verse number 5, again it has got a wala. So when the 3rd, you have the 3rd wala, the next verse lakum dinukum waliyadin. And there are several other methods as well that you can use. This is one method, or 1 or 2 methods that I know of.